Hey guys, we just wanted to jump on and create a short video on one of our favorite recipes we've been making during quarantine, and it is so simple. 4 ingredients. It's an easy artisan bread that we have doTERRAized and made a rosemary flavored, rosemary infused. It sounds really fancy, but it is delicious, and you can have it for dinner tonight because it is that easy.
It's carbolicious. So what's the total prep time here from putting our ingredients in the bowl till bringing it out of the oven?
5 minutes. Literally. No. Oh, till out of the oven. I thought you said prep time.
Wow, this is magic.
Okay. So 5 minutes prepping your dough. Then it needs to rise on your counter. Minimum of 8 hours, but up to 24 hours. So depending on when you want to have it hot and out of the oven for dinner or something, you'll do the math for that. You could do it in the morning and serve it that night. Or I like to do it the night before, and then I can bake it anytime the next day. So
trust me, you're going to want to have at least probably 4 loaves going at one time, maybe 2 baking and 2 more rising, because you do not eat this bread by the slice. You do eat this bread by the loaf. It's delicious. Super good.
Only bakes for 45 minutes, then you can let it
okay, so what do we do?
On your counter and it's ready to eat. So, okay, 3 ingredients. The first thing you're gonna need is 3 cups of flour. I have changed the recipe here. It called for white flour. I'm using a ratio of 1 cup of whole wheat to 2 cups of white flour, or you could use bread flour. So dump all that in.
Okay.
3 cups. Okay, the next thing we're gonna need is some salt. This is 1 teaspoon of salt.
Use a good full flavored salt. We like the Redmond salt. Comes out of the Great Salt Lake and it's super good.
The next thing, like I said, super simple, is your yeast. We're using
instant yeast.
Instant yeast. It's compressed yeast, and this is only a half a teaspoon.
This yeast is cool because you don't have to mix it in water and let it bubble and everything before you add it. You just mix it in with your dry ingredients, and you're good to go. Super easy.
Give that a few turns with your spoon, like nothing too fancy. And then we're going to add our rosemary essential oil to the water, so then it infuses into the dough a little better.
So we have a 1.5 cups of water, and how many drops of rosemary do we want to put in?
4 is the magic number.
4,
5
1,
is
2, 3, 4.
Is very fragrant, but it might be a little too strong for your taste.
For you beginners.
3 is pretty mellow. So I'm like right in the middle with 4 after making many loaves and a lot of pounds, extra pounds on our bodies. Okay, now he's going to add the water into my
The water is just warm, not hot, not cold, just warm. A little warmer than room temperature.
If you could smell this, oh my gosh, it smells
freaking awesome.
Delicious. That rosemary, as soon as you put that in here. Okay, so this is not going to be pretty. Those of you who are experienced in the kitchen and do a lot of baking of bread, this isn't going to make a normal formation of bread dough. This is going to look messy. It's going to look shaggy. It's going to look like you screwed up, but you did not. You did not. Seriously, this is all you do. I do this for maybe, I don't know, a minute or 2.
We're coming
just to work in the flour. It is not going to be beautiful. So don't panic. If this is what yours looks like, that is okay. A shaggy freaking mess is good. So
now we don't want to use a metal bowl, right?
I don't use metal bowl, metal spoon. Plastic would be fine, wood, glass, etc. Okay, that's it. That is it. That was sound effects from my grandson there. Who
right on cue. Good job, buddy.
Okay, all now you're gonna need to do is grab a piece of saran wrap. We're gonna wrap this up so that it can sit on the counter. And that's it. Super easy. We're gonna let it sit, like I said, for 8 hours minimum, up to 24 hours. And then we'll jump back on here and show you how we prep the dough after our 8 hours and bake it. And you can see the final.
See you in a while.
Welcome back. We're here for step 2 in our 5 ingredient, easy artisan bread. So simple, anybody can make it. So we made this yesterday. Remember, you needed to let your dough sit for at least 8 hours, up to 24 hours. Ours has had the 24 hour. We went to bed last night and decided we would bake it this morning. So super flexible that way.
A little rainy today, a perfect day to bake some bread.
Yes, it is. Who doesn't like the smell of like fresh?
This smells good. Oh yeah, it's gonna be
So,
good.
okay, this is really, don't have to do it this way. You could turn it out on your counter, on a cutting board, whatever, but I use this for easy cleanup. So I just grabbed a piece of parchment paper. I'm gonna take some flour and put it on top of that parchment paper just so I can turn my dough out here and then be able to quickly pick that up and transfer it into our baking dish. So let me show you our baking dishes so you can see what we're gonna use. You need to have a covered dish that can be placed in your oven at a high temperature. So they make like the
Dutch oven?
Dutch oven with the clear top on it. You can use that. I bought that for this type of bread, but I also have used this casserole dish because it's glass and ceramic. That works really well. One of the keys to having your bread turn out well with that crisp crust and the doughy, pillowy deliciousness on the inside is that we have to have a high heat, and we don't want it to dry the bread out, so you have to have a lid. So we're gonna preheat the oven when we're done with this portion to 450, and then we'll place our baking dishes. This is really kind of one of the special things that I didn't realize would make such a big difference. But we'll preheat our oven to 450, put our dishes, our Dutch ovens, our casserole dishes, whatever you're gonna bake in,
Our
your baking dish,
devices.
into the oven and let them heat up with the oven. So that way when this is sat for 30 minutes, we can place them right in there into an already heated baking dish. Okay.
Okay, so I know what people are thinking. They're looking at this and going, that doesn't look like dough.
Well,
looks like
it kind of
old
looks like
oatmeal.
what it looked like yesterday. It's shaggy, it's messy, but like there is moisture still in it. It's not dry. So all you do, and usually I have a spoon here. I don't right now, so I'm gonna use my hand. Is you just turn that out onto your surface. Super easy. I'm gonna take a little bit of flour, put on my fingers so I can play with the dough a little bit. You're gonna pull that dough out and you're gonna bring it to the center. So you're just kind of working it a little bit. Any of the edges I'm bringing to the middle. Pull it out, bring it into the center. Pull
It's
it
like
out.
it gets a little more elastic as you play with it a little bit.
Yep, bring it to the center. Pull it out. And depending on how long it's been sitting on the counter, like I said, this has been here for 24 hours. It's gonna look a little different if you've only let it sit for the 8 hours. It'll probably be a little more elastic girl-like if you let it sit for 8 hours.
Nice Disney reference.
Yeah, well, you know,
I like it.
I like the Disney. Okay, so if my cameraman was over there, he would focus down on here so you can see what it looks like, but he's over here. So, okay,
I can't. I have to lift it.
well,
Camera's on a tripod. But
this is not a professional baking segment show of any sort. So, okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm just pulling it to the center. It looks still pretty rough. That's fine. I might put a little bit more of flour on top of that, just so when I turn it over, it doesn't stick. Pull it back here where you can see it. I'm gonna pick up my loaf. Okay, kids are upstairs chit-chatting, which is fine. I'm gonna put a little bit more there because it kind of stuck. I'm gonna turn it over. So now I've got my little round loaf here. I'll put a little more flour on him, her, baby loaf. Okay, that's it. It's a circular artisan bread. I'm gonna let it sit here on my counter for 30 minutes. I'll set a timer. When that 30 minutes is up, we'll jump back on and show you how we put it in the oven, how that works. And then you'll get to see the final step when we bring it out of the oven. So I'm gonna preheat my oven to 450 right now, put my dishes inside, and then we'll be back. Okay, we're back, and now this is step 3. So our beautiful bread has sat here for 30 minutes while we preheated the oven to 450. So our dish is hot and our bread's ready to be scored. So this is just a fancy way of saying I'm gonna take a serrated knife and I am going to just lightly carve an X in the top of my bread. Ta-da! Simple, simple. Hey, I'm gonna come over here and grab my baking dish that's been in here, heating up to the 450. All right, my oven tends to be really hot, so look at that heat. My bread cooks a little bit faster, so you're gonna have to play around with the time a little bit. But typically, I set this little baby in there. You could trim those pieces of parchment paper down if you need to, if they're in the way. It's a little bigger than I normally have, but it should be fine. Okay, I'm gonna stick it back in the oven. Now I'm gonna put it back in here and set my timer for 30 minutes. And then uncover it, and if I need to, because it's not golden yet, put it into the oven again for up to 15 minutes. But that's where you're gonna have to play with the time a little bit. Mine typically, when I set the timer here, is going to be good to go in 30 minutes. I don't really have to do anything else for that. So I'll show you when the 30 minutes are up, the magic of editing. We'll pull that bread out and you can see how beautiful that will be. Okay, we are back. That was my timer. This is the final step here in our bread making. So I'm gonna grab this loaf of bread out of here and you're gonna see how amazing you all are gonna freaking wow your family. And like I said, someday when we get out of this social distancing quarantine, you will wow your neighbors. Oh my gosh, if you could smell the rosemary, it's so, so good. Okay, I need my camera to come over here because I don't want to burn myself, although I do have lavender. Look how amazing. Look at that. Oh my gosh, if you could see, I just feel like I'm so good when I look at this. Seriously, this looks profesh. Okay, now if you want a little bit more of a crust to it, like I said, you can put, see how it's just golden? If you want a little more crunch or crisp to it, uncover it, put it in up to 15 minutes. I'm gonna stick this back in for maybe 5 minutes uncovered because it's just light golden and I wanna get a little bit more crisp on it. But look at that. Doesn't that look amazing? Okay, I'm gonna stick it back in. Okay, I kind of been keeping my eye on this loaf, and to me, it looks perfect. Like I said, if you could smell, I wish you could smell, the beautiful aroma that's coming from this pan is crazy. Okay, all I'm gonna do is grab the corners, don't touch your pan, but if you do, grab your lavender, and I'm gonna set it out there. I want me to pull that down. How beautiful it is. So there you go. That was so, so simple. You're gonna let that cool, because if you slice into it right now, it's gonna mush your bread down even with a serrated knife. You don't wanna do that. Here's another, look, I don't have to wash the pan. So that is also a bonus. So what we're gonna do is let that cool, and you can make a couple loaves at a time or whatever, because I promise you, this will go quickly at our house anyway. Makes the most delicious avocado toast the next day. If you have any left over, that's one of our favorite things to do. But when we serve this with a dinner or with a lunch kind of thing, a salad, we like to make dipping sauces. So give me a second and I'm gonna jump back on here and show you how to use some of your oils, create a dipping sauce for your rosemary bread.
Hey, I'm glad that you wanted me to come and be in your videos with you today because I know you love my shirt.
I do. Thank you for dressing up for the occasion.
It's Bill Murray. Anytime you're wearing Bill Murray, you're dressed up.
This is my favorite part of making the artisan bread. It's the actually eating of the artisan bread. So here's one more thing that you can try, see what you think.
Yeah.
By adding oils into your dipping sauce.
So we're sticking with the rosemary theme today, but you can use whatever oils you want to put in your dipping sauce. Oregano is good, thyme is good. Remember, a little oregano goes a long way. Just take a toothpick and dip it in the end and stir that into your olive oil. That's probably enough oregano. But we kind of like the rosemary in our house, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a full drop in there. And then we are a huge fan of pepper. Oh, who's your daddy? That is good stuff. We're gonna use pink pepper today. You can use pink pepper or black pepper. And we're just adding this into our olive oil. And then we'll just mix that up a little bit before we plate it. Now you can also, if you like, add some dried herbs or fresh herbs, but dried. We actually picked up a fun little collection of herbs last time we were over in France, and we just like to add a little bit of that.
That makes it sound really fast.
Last time we were in France.
Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon?
You're not going to do it in French? Let's hear your French. Make Valerie proud.
Well, I would, but I don't know that I have all the vocabulary for that.
You don't need to say it all. Just say something in French.
Ah, bonjour. Comment allez-vous?
Wow. For a minute, I thought I was transported into a Disney movie. I
merci.
expected the utensils to stand up and sing.
We know we don't sing in this house.
That's what I want.
Okay.
Can I let you in on another little secret? If you want some amazing balsamic and olive oil, this is where you want to go. There's a website here. Ruger, maybe you can show this.
Yeah.
So we went out and met some really awesome people helping with the doTERRA service project with the fire out in Paradise, California. And we made a new friend out there. Her name is Gail, and she has a farm, and they do their own olive oil out there and balsamics, and they are phenomenal. I brought a bunch back actually for the owners of doTERRA and gave it to them.
That kind of worked.
And my son-in-law says it kind of works, so we're going with it.
He is an aerospace engineer.
He is.
Not a film crew.
Literally, our camera right now is being run by a rocket scientist.
Perfect. Okay, let's get this on the plate. And just show them. There is no recipe to this. This is totally by taste, whatever you prefer.
Yeah. Some people like a little balsamic. Some people like a lot of balsamic.
I just think it looks pretty when you drop it into the oil like that.
Did you hear our grandson farting? I hope the camera picked that up because that was awesome. Way to go, dude. Oh, well, here comes the face. We're going to get more sound effects.
Let's keep on.
Oh, relax.
Our
We're having a little bit
here.
of fun here.
Okay, it's going to be good.
We like the balsamic.
Okay.
Doesn't that look yummy? I wish you could smell it.
We can post a link to the balsamic and the olive oil
We'll put
below.
it in the comments. It's so good. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
hold
I'm just
on.
going to mix it out.
I got an idea. No. How do you do that?
What are you trying to do?
Oh, like this.
Yeah.
Ah.
Mmm. Wow. You're a keeper. Oh, I just literally spit food right there. I spit a piece of bread.
All right, you guys. This was simple.
Unedited.
It was easy. Any of you who want to do
Let me see
artisan
Simba.
bread, you absolutely can. Dipping sauce is going to wow your guests next time we get to have guests in our home. All right, Carter.
You can
Wanna say
have this,
goodbye?
but just not yet. You got to grow a
Say
little
goodbye.
bit.
All right, thanks you guys.
Bye.
Take care, and we'll post all the recipes and all the links in the comments. Talk to you later. Have a great day.